For 20 years, I had a really difficult relationship with my dad. It all started after my parents' divorce. And last year, I began to wonder if my mom had had a role in making me believe certain things about my dad and making me act certain ways and reject my dad. Last year, I was trying to figure this all out. I was so confused. That's why I'm making this video today, for anybody who thinks that they might have made a decision regarding one of their parents that maybe hasn't been justified when all along you thought it was absolutely justified. A lot of kids have been messaging me with this exact problem. They express that they've been feeling really confused and not sure how to know the truth. And last year when this all happened to me, I actually did something that really helped me. It helped me see everything so much clearer. And I want to share that with you today, anybody watching, so that maybe you can try this practice and see if it helps. So anybody that's wondering if maybe one of their parents has influenced their relationship or lack of relationship with their other parent, here's an exercise that you can do which really helped me learn the truth. As far as materials, it's super simple. All you're gonna need is a pen and a piece of paper. You're gonna need about 30 minutes to 2 hours. You can spend as long as you want on this, but you're gonna need a quiet space, an uninterrupted amount of time, and here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take your piece of paper, and on top of your piece of paper, you're gonna write facts about dad. That's it. Now, you're gonna take a second piece of paper, and on top of it, you're gonna write facts about mom. So this exercise is really gonna help you try to figure out the truth, which parent is telling the truth, who to believe. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take the parent that you've rejected all these years, or however long it's been. You're gonna start with bullet points. Maybe close your eyes, take a few seconds, think back to the very beginning when your relationship started to go downhill with that parent. Now, you're gonna write a bullet point list of all the things that you can remember that parent doing, saying directly to you that have hurt you. Here's what you're not gonna write down. You're not gonna write down anything that either of your parents have told you about each other. You're not gonna write down stories that you've heard from your parent. For example, if your mom has told you that your dad was mean to her in the marriage, you're not going to write that down because you can't for sure know if that's true. Or if your dad has said, mom abandoned us, mom left us, you're not going to write that down either because you don't know for sure if that's true either. At this point, you're not going to take for certain what either of your parents have told you over the years. You're going to write down bullet points of the real, tangible things that your parents have done directly to you to hurt you. So you're going to write down a list, bullet point by bullet point. If you need more than one paper, use as many papers as you need. Okay? Once you're done with your parent that you've rejected all this time, you're going to take the second paper for your other parent who you've had a close relationship with. Maybe in your mind, this is your good parent. You're going to take that paper and you're going to write facts about them. And you're going to do the same thing, except instead of starting where the relationship went downhill, you can just start your earliest memories. Again, these are things they've done directly to you. Everything on the paper, or many papers. Actually, I ended up using 14 papers for my one parent. My hope for you is that by the end of this exercise, you will have a better sense of the way that your parents have treated you independently, without including anything that you've been made to believe, or secondhand accounts, or stories you've been told over and over about events that you weren't even present for. You're just going to write down how that parent, each parent, treated you directly. How they treated you, not how they treated each other, not how they treated your siblings, how they treated you. So right now, please pause the video and go ahead and do this exercise. And then once you're done with the exercise, resume the video. So good luck, go for it. And then come back to the video once you've done the exercise. Welcome back. I'm sure that was emotionally taxing for you, but I'm proud that you've done that. Thank you for giving my little exercise a chance. If you've had an experience anything like mine, you're probably feeling a lot of emotions right now. You might feel confused, you might feel sad, you might feel really angry. That's totally normal. Totally normal. Totally normal. When I started writing the bullet point list for the parent that I had rejected and thought didn't love me because I was made to believe he didn't love me pretty much my whole life, 20 years. When I was done with the exercise, writing all the things he's done to hurt me, essentially the reasons why I rejected him all that time, I had one page. And the reasons that I listed on the page were things that I had forgiven him for already. They weren't anything that would have justified that rejection for 20 years. And I remember sitting there alone in that room after I'd done this exercise for about an hour and a half, kind of freaking out because the facts about Mom, who was my good, close parent all those years, I didn't have one page. In fact, I had about 13 or 14 pages. All the things that I listed were really hurtful things. And there I was sitting in the room. Now, not saying your experience is anything like mine. I just am sharing because you'll see, I'll get to the conclusion in a minute, but I sat there with one page for the parent I had rejected for 20 years and 14 pages for the good parent in my life. And in that 14 pages were serious things that have really left long-lasting damage to my mental health, emotional health, physical health, the list goes on. And I remember sitting there in that room, super confused, feeling ashamed and guilty and wondering if I had gotten everything wrong. I remember feeling like I couldn't breathe. I think I was having a panic attack actually. And it was like I had finally looked at both sides of the story and just evaluated how they've treated me my whole life. And I thought, I've gotten everything wrong here. I've gotten everything wrong. At the age of 9, I made a decision that would affect the next 20 years, and I made the wrong decision. I started to feel guilty and ashamed, but here's the thing. I didn't make that decision naturally. I didn't make that decision on my own. My good parent hates my other parent, and they always talked bad about them, made me believe that my other parent didn't love me, didn't care about me, abandoned me, and was a bad person. They made me believe that I should be scared of them. But as I sat with essentially the facts finally in front of me on these pieces of paper, I started to realize who I thought was my only good parent had actually directly hurt me, 13, 14 times more than the parent that I had rejected that whole time. Anyway, if you have any type of experience like that, where you're really confused by the end of the exercise because the facts don't line up with the decision you made and the beliefs that you've held, I want you to know that you're not alone. When one parent manipulates their child into turning against the other parent, usually during a custody dispute or a divorce or when one parent gets remarried, this is a type of abuse. It took me 6 months of therapy to admit that it is abuse. I know that if you're going through this, you probably don't think that you've been abused, and that word itself is scary, or you just can't you just deny it. You don't think that's true. It's psychological and emotional abuse, and I'm telling you that because you deserve to know the truth. A lot of people haven't told you the truth if you've been through this. And if you're feeling some sort of way after this exercise, it's probably an indication that you've been manipulated to reject your other parent. And I know that this is so scary, but my first suggestion to you would be to reach out to that parent. And here's why. Although your heart might be beating a million times a minute the whole time you call them or see them or talk to them, you deserve the truth. That's what I did at the end of this exercise. I called my dad, and that's when my healing journey would finally start. I know it might be scary. Worst case scenario, though, is that you call your parent and you learn that your decisions and beliefs and everything this whole time has been justified. And in that case, it's just more confirmation that you're making the right decision. Otherwise, you could learn some things that might make you upset, but you might also have a shot at that parent being someone who's completely different than who you believed they were. which means that if you believe they didn't love you, they might actually love you. If you believe that they were a bad person, they might actually be a good person. If you believe that they abandoned you, well, maybe they didn't. You can't know the truth until you actually reach out to the parent that you've rejected or haven't seen or never heard their side of the story. If you do this exercise and want to share publicly, please feel free to leave in the comments what you think about this exercise, how it went for you. You might want to seek a therapist who can treat trauma in children, teenagers, whatever age group you are. You aren't alone. You're not alone. If you have been through something like this, I know that you've probably dealt with a lot of problems in your life, whether it be mental health problems, physical health problems, behavioral problems, feeling not good enough, really depressed, whatever it's been, the issues you've dealt with. Even though maybe you've tried really hard to overcome these issues, I'm willing to bet it's been a struggle to do so. I'm willing to bet that you haven't been able to overcome these issues. And after talking to dozens of people now who've been through this as a child, that's a very common theme. None of us have been able to overcome these issues we've been dealing with until we learned the truth of what had happened to us. So that's the silver lining here, and I want you to really focus on that from here on out. That you can heal now. You can create a wonderful life now because you know the truth. And you can reconnect with your other parent potentially and build a new relationship with them based on a foundation built on truth. And one last thing, I would just encourage you to try to challenge everything. Be a little detective who just wants to know the truth. Challenge everything that you think. Challenge everything you've believed, just to make sure that you have the right beliefs. I'm so sorry if you've been through this. You don't deserve it. You're not crazy. There is so much hope on the other side. That's an amazing thing to look forward to. I wish this hadn't happened to you. I wish this hadn't happened to me. It's not our fault, but we can get better. We can move forward. I know by default, if you're here watching this video and you've been through it, you are resilient. You have made it through so many challenges, and here you are, and this is not the end of your story. I hope this video has helped someone somewhere. If you enjoy what I'm doing here, please subscribe. If you are a child who watched this video and you can resonate with what I've been saying, feel free to reach out to me. I hope to make a lot more videos for kids who've gone through this. I don't really see many online, particularly from the point of view of someone who did go through it as a child. And I hope this exercise has been helpful. It's pretty simple, but it seemed to help me a lot, so I thought I would share. I'll see you next time.